Oh, it's good to be back to winning ways. Chelsea 3, Wolves 1 at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea without a winning 5 going into that one. And we've done exactly what we needed to do. Look, I'm not going to dress this game up as an unbelievable performance because I don't think it was that. I actually don't think that game was too dissimilar from what we've already seen in the last 5 games in periods. But I think yesterday, as a whole, Chelsea players stepped up when they needed to and scored goals when our most reliable players didn't. And I think that is what's been needed at times this season, especially in the rut that we've been in. And yesterday we saw Mark Cucrella, Tosin, who's now becoming a bit of a goal threat, step up. Madueke get himself on the score sheet. Trevoh Chalobah, the return of the boy who lived, as he's been dubbed by his Chelsea teammates. He absolutely added something to that Chelsea team yesterday that I haven't seen all season. Experience, fight, leadership in the back line. Trev not capable of technically being good enough for this Chelsea team. What delusion were we on in the summer? Why was that being put out from the sporting directors and Maresca that he had to go for those reasons, that it was a tactical decision to let him leave? The fact that he's been brought back, the whole thing is a bit embarrassing. But yesterday, praise Trevoh Chalobah because he knows what it is to play for Chelsea and he absolutely thrived yesterday. And honestly, as much as that defence might not be our best on paper, I think that felt really balanced yesterday. And I have to say that the types of profiles that were in that back line yesterday, I think this Chelsea team's been crying out for. Every single player in that back line yesterday for me is a leader, a fighter, a warrior, a winner. Reece James, definitely that. The Reece James has this fantastic ability to have no match fitness and look like he's been fit for months. I think he's that good. It comes so easy to Reece James. And I have to say that I wish he could stay fit. I really do. We look like such a better team with him in the side. Trevoh Chalobah offered exactly that as well. Trevoh Chalobah is the perfect example of why young players need to go and play alongside mature, experienced, world-class pros. He played the most alongside Thiago Silva. And I think he's absolutely become a better player off the back of playing alongside him. And you could really see it yesterday. Tosin is vocal, a leader, a presence aerially, now a goal threat as well. He might not be our best centre-back, but I think he definitely adds something to this team away from his footballing ability. I think he does, but he's scoring goals. He's willing to fight and show heart for this team. And I think Cucrella is doing exactly that as well. Cucrella has come from the depths of Chelsea fans' opinion, right? He was basically disregarded by many. And now, I think he might be absolute guaranteed first name on the team sheet. He showed yesterday when he scored that goal. He started off the move and absolutely was not giving up until he put that ball in the back of the net. And as he celebrated, he pointed to his mind to say, I've got the right mindset for this. I'm mentally ready to go to fight for this Chelsea team to get them back to where they deserve to be. And I think that's so key, having a defence like that has the ability to lead its team and get its team, pull it through and out of a rut. And yes, at times, I think Levi, Fofana, they're probably individually better suited. But I don't think they offer what that defence offered yesterday. Even Gusto, I don't think he offers what Reece offers in that sense. Or Fofana doesn't offer what Trevor offered in that. For me, Trevor should be pretty much, off the back of that performance, nailed on to the end of the season now. Forget the clear profit in trying to sell him, because I genuinely think he could have gone to top of the list when it comes to centre-back at Chelsea off the back of that performance. I think it was that good. And I think what's so important is that 2 of that defence showed that they are going to fight to get Chelsea on the score sheet if the other players aren't in the form that they need to be in or are doing something else on the pitch and they can't get the goal because they're being relied upon somewhere else. Even Trevoh Chalobah pretty much scored. Madueke took the goal off of him, but Noni needed that goal. I think Noni is a guy that needs a goal to build up his confidence and then believe he can apply himself to help the rest of the team if his individual performance has gone okay. Whether that's the right way to go about it, I think that's kind of how I see Noni operating. But that's exactly what Chelsea needed. We need players to step up in those moments. And that's exactly what happened. Because during that rut, if Jackson hasn't been scoring, it's been Cole Palmer, and then it's not really been anyone else at times. And we really needed that. And ultimately, Cole Palmer and Jackson didn't score yesterday. Those other players stepped up. Look, I'm going to be honest here. I think striker and wide areas, that's Chelsea's problem going forwards. I don't think there's enough goals there. I think the wide players are very, very limited when it comes to scoring goals. I think we saw that again. Neto, I think for me, I'd rather Neto start every single game on the right wing. Probably. I think that's his best position. I think he looks better there, but he's still not a goal scorer. I don't think he ever is going to be unless a lot of work is put in on the training pitch and in games to go and develop their training field, training pitch, whatever I was trying to say. But left wing, I think Sancho's been very, very good for Chelsea, but I do see a bit of an issue with him scoring goals as well. Nicholas Jackson, I think, look, he was offside and I think he's trying a little bit too hard at the moment. I think he needs to chill out a bit, and this is why it's sometimes better if you have another striker to provide some competition to just kind of remove him out of the spotlight a little bit. He didn't need to be offside for some opportunities yesterday. He squandered a couple, but then he actually put some away when he was offside, and you think, oh, his finishing's back. So he's in a really weird position right now, Jackson, and I'm sure his goals will return, but his current form, it's not great, but I'd actually say on the ball, he's starting to look a little bit better. There was that moment early on where he overran it, and, you're kind of thinking, what's happened? Because last season, this was pretty common, but starting off the season, we didn't see this so much. So I think a bit of extra competition there would be really key. I think actually Chelsea bringing in a striker probably cements this Chelsea team into the top four with what other teams are currently doing around us. Manchester City is strengthening unbelievably well this January, obviously spending big money. Nottingham Forest are showing no signs of slowing down. Arsenal and Liverpool, I don't know if I see them dropping out of the top four. Chelsea have got it all to do, and we really need to go and win the Conference League to make sure that fifth place is a potential Champions League spot for the Premier League. Because I think that's, realistically, Chelsea are going to be fighting for the fourth or fifth place now, unless we can really start to put a set of results together. Because we weren't brilliant yesterday, but we did get the job done, and I think that's so important because we've been better in other games and not got the job done, or we've had chances in other games and failed to put them away, or players haven't stepped up to take their chances, and that happened. I'm worried and I'm concerned a little bit about Chelsea's midfield, because when Caicedo went down yesterday, he held the back of his knee. I don't know what we do if we get another injury in that midfield. Maybe we look at bringing back a lone player. I think Dewsbury Hall had an okay game yesterday. I think he gets around the pitch well. He buzzes about. I think he got his assist. I don't think he's brilliant. I think you could do better than Dewsbury Hall. I still think it's a strange signing, but he did kind of what he needed to do to an extent yesterday. But when I look at that team, I think if you're relying on Dewsbury Hall week in, week out, I'm not sold on it. With Enzo obviously missing with an injury, another injury, Lavia missing with more injuries, it's concerning when Caicedo goes down holding the back of his leg. I can see why the Chelsea board don't want to recall Agachukwu and Santos, because they're both playing. If they recall them, does it stunt their growth? I'm not sure. But if Cassidy vacates the squad, we are really, really limited. And Vega as well has played there a couple of times. If he goes as well, we're really limited in that position right now. And I think that's another area of concern for me, that maybe you do have to bring back one of those players and think they will get opportunities if they're good enough. But Andre Santos is absolutely flying in Ligue 1, and you don't want to stop that momentum. And Agachukwu, under the new Southampton manager, is starting to play. And actually being in a relegation battle, learning how to fight for results is a great attribute to pick up as a youngster. It really, really can help develop them into a real top player with a good mentality that knows how to play in a number of different scenarios in matches. And that's the beauty of learning as a youngster in a relegation battle. But Chelsea don't want to leave themselves short to the benefit of other teams. You just don't. And let's hope we can get through, touch wood, this tricky little period with midfield injuries. Because if Lavia and Enzo return to fitness and they can stay fit, ultimately, then it would almost be a waste to have one more centre midfielder in there, and that's when their minutes would be limited. It just depends how long those players are out for. Another thing that I want to address that is so frustrating, and we've done it time and time again, and I don't want to dwell on it, but Robert Sanchez is going to be one of the biggest reasons this Chelsea team cannot bridge the gap to the Arsenals and the Liverpool and the Manchester Cities on their day, because I just think he's going to cause this Chelsea team too many issues. And we saw it yesterday. We should have kept a clean sheet yesterday, and he was probably the reason we didn't. The fact that he's punched one minutes before, and then that one he's I don't know what he's even tried to do. He's flapped at it, to be completely honest with you. There's no real foul on him. There's no reason for that. It's just another mistake in Sanchez's strangely odd Chelsea career, where he's been considered the best goalkeeper at the club and back to playing all these games by Enzo Maresca, the sporting directors and the goalkeeper coach. I genuinely think, look, that to make that call for a player to keep on playing who's showing no signs of improvement, continuously making individual errors that have now 4 individual errors have directly led to a goal and nothing's been done about it and he keeps getting back to play, is just delusional when you've just brought in a £30 million keeper in Jorgensen. And I also think that 4 is relatively low because there's a number of other times that he hasn't directly given the ball to the goal scorer, but he's given the ball away, and he ultimately 3 or 4 actions down the line, that team's gone and scored or got a corner that's led to a goal. I think Sanchez is a huge issue for Chelsea. We've said it all season long, but it's not changing. Why are we at January, nearly into February, still backing Robert Sanchez to be Chelsea's number 1? For me, I put Jorgensen in against City and I wouldn't look back. And no matter what happens, just let him play out till the end of the season, similar to what we did with Petrovic last season when Sanchez was injured. But right now, I'm concerned with how big a cost Sanchez could end up being to this Chelsea side, because it's a clean sheet yesterday would have done absolute wonders for this Chelsea team. Would have done absolute wonders. But look, it's good to be back winning games. It's good to be scoring goals. I feel like we haven't seen that enough over the festive period, which is really, really disappointing. We'd be in a much better position had that been the case. We're all well aware of that. We've got such a tough game against City. It would have been beautiful if that game was in our hands, but it isn't. Manchester City win that game, they go above us, which is frustrating because I think once you go behind Manchester City anywhere in the table, it's very, very, very difficult to get back above them because they are that good. We're well aware of that. So it makes the fight a little bit harder. Newcastle obviously flying right now, but they did lose to Bournemouth, so it shows they've got flaws. That top 4 battle and top 6, 7 is going to heat up towards the end of the season. We've got Villa, obviously, they've struggled off the back of Champions League performances, but they're there or thereabouts. Newcastle, you've got Bournemouth trying to push into that as well. You've got Forest not showing any signs of slowing down. Arsenal, Liverpool, City. Where are Chelsea going to finish in that? Look, if I'm being realistic, I think it's 5th. I do. I think 5th place with Champions League football off the back of us hopefully winning the Conference League would be something I'd take. Because of this blip that we've had, I think with a blip like what we've had, to go no win in 5 and to have a number of games, obviously, probably 2-3 months ago now, where we drew games against like Manchester United, who are in really bad form and have lost to a number of worse teams, to throw points away against Ipswich in the Christmas period. It's games like that I think you can miss out on the top 4 if you're not winning every other game, and we're not winning every other game. But we are in a better position than we were. We look like a better unit yesterday. I have to say that. Chelsea should be winning games against teams like Wolves, though. And that's the issue, that December, there wasn't enough of that. And hopefully we can take something from that Wolves game, put it into the City game and build on it. But look, I'm gonna go. Make sure to drop a like on the video if you haven't already. We're trying to get 30 likes. Let's try and get to 4K by the end of the season. I think we could make that a pretty solid target. I'm appreciating all the new people coming in, subscribing, chatting, saying what they've got to say in the comments. That's all we want to do here. Build a community, chat about football, chat about Chelsea, and everything we need to do. We'll have more videos out between now and the City game talking about January transfer news. It's heating up, but it's still relatively quiet. Are we going to see Garnacho arrive to Chelsea? I'm not too sure. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Would you take Garnacho at Chelsea? I don't think he's the option or the type of player that we're desperate for right now, but I probably wouldn't say no to him if the money's okay. Are we going to see João Felix leave? Are we going to see Dazassi, Vega, Cassidy leave? Are we going to see Dewsbury Hall leave? Tosin? There have been names that have been chucked around a lot this January transfer window. All players that arrived very, very recently to the club. We'll have to see how that goes. But look, I'll catch you in the next one. Keep the blue flag flying high. Great to get 3 points on the board. I'll see you all soon.